On August 14, 2005, a Boeing 737 passenger plane belonging to the Greek Cypriot private airline Helios crashed in a mountainous area in Athens during a Larnaca-Prague flight connecting to Athens, killing 115 passengers and 6 crew members. Let's look at the details of this terrible accident. The air conditioner malfunction was detected several times before, and the plane was already taken into maintenance last month for this reason. After taking off from Cyprus, the air conditioner malfunction occurred again. In airplanes above 2,000 to 3,000 meters, compressed air is always supplied to the cabin. The oxygen pressure gradually decreases from this altitude. At 8,000 to 10,000 meters, you cannot live without pressure in the cabin. Remember that the climbers who climbed Everest used oxygen cylinders. At the normal cruising altitude of passenger planes, oxygen is always supplied to the cabin. In this plane, the ventilation system is probably somehow broken. When the cabin pressure drops, oxygen masks automatically but probably descend from the ceiling, but they probably don't work because the system is completely faulty. Passengers and crew pass out due to lack of oxygen. The plane on autopilot crashes when it runs out of fuel or somehow loses altitude. Greek Air Control, getting no response from the plane, sends 2 F-16s. The pilots see the plane and approach. The sight they see is horrifying. In the passenger cabin, the oxygen masks have come down from the ceiling. In the cockpit, the captain pilot is not in his seat, and at the same time, the second pilot faints and falls on the control console. A few people who cannot be identified, whether they are passengers or crew members, are groping around trying to steer the plane. After a while, they will probably faint too, and the plane will continue on its way to its inevitable end. Company sued after accident. The Greek Cypriot High Criminal Court ruled that there was no evidence to prove the guilt of the 4 company executives in the case related to the crash. It was understood that the cause of the accident was that the pressure system control of the aircraft, which was left in manual mode during maintenance, was not put into automatic mode during the checklist application of the pilots. The pressure system, which should have been activated automatically as the aircraft started to rise above the ground, did not work, and the pilots and passengers passed out unconsciously as the oxygen level in the air dropped as the aircraft rose. The aircraft, which continued its flight normally on autopilot, came near Athens, while the controllers, who could not establish radio contact with the pilots, called the Greek Air Force and raised armed F-16 aircraft. Fighter jets had been ordered to shoot down the passenger plane if it was in a position to crash into Athens or other populated areas. In the final moments of the flight, there was movement in the cockpit, and it turned out to be a cabin crew member who had somehow survived hypoxia and had a pilot's license. According to the Rum Press, the court's interim decision was met with anger and deep sadness by the relatives of the 121 people who lost their lives in the accident. The relatives of the victims reacted strongly to the court's decision. The Attorney General, Petros Klarides, said that they will work on the decision of the heavy criminal court and will consider appealing the decision.